Hey, so I went to bed last night thinking I'll get up early, about 4 o'clock, the update will be live, I'll click download and then I'll go back to sleep for a few more hours since my internet sucks. But of course, when I woke up at 4 AM this morning, guess what? Extinction was delayed, and then it was delayed even more, and now we still don't actually have an ETA. Hey Ratbags, it's Jade. As usual, the minute I step back into the ARK arena, shizzle just starts going wrong. Maybe I'm a bad luck charm, who knows? But yes, ARK's Extinction DLC has now been delayed. We still don't have any definitive ETA. It is still apparently going through Cert. The trailer does look good. I was kind of hyped seeing Scorched Earth one more though, but hey, what do I know? For sure though, the orbital drops, the meteorites in the background, and then the rigs, which is what I'm really looking forward to testing out for once in ARK. I won't bore you too much with what went on earlier with some maybe promised updates that hopefully would get some good news soon. As of 3 PM GMT time, about 10 AM EST and about 8 o'clock on the West Coast, Dolly, hey folks, unfortunately this messaging isn't the update we hope to be sharing now. We're still waiting for the build to pass Cert. As soon as we have any meaningful news, we'll let the community know. Sorry guys. For those you wanting to sleep, we do plan to roll out 2 big batches of fresh official servers upon launch, spaced apart, to give everyone a chance to grab their spot. And kindly, Dolly has absolutely left a clown emoji for us all to go and spam. Good on you, Dolly. So what the hell's going on? Why? Just why, after 9 years, are Wildcard so pathetically useless at getting these kinds of things right? Look at No Man's Sky. They drop an update, everyone goes wild. Brand new content, all sorts of new features for multi-platforms. Apple, PC, Steam, Epic Games, Xbox, PlayStation and Switch. Alright, admittedly sometimes on Switch it's a bit late and sometimes on Xbox it's a few days later. But the majority of the time they get their updates out everywhere and no one complains or cries about missing updates because they never tell anyone when it's going to happen. What they do is use their common sense, let their games pass certification before then announcing them as ready. Apart from a few tweets giving emojis that players know to expect something that week. Wildcard have run out of the excuses over the years, and I'm going to give them just one more though for this one time. Microsoft and Sony, I'm imagining, have definitely some different parameters for certification. Sony's can be quite long, although they're starting to reduce it a little bit, seemingly adding more early access titles to its platform. And Microsoft have always been pretty good with stuff. They actually have 2 tiers of Cert. If you sell enough copies of a game, or you've got a lot of players that play your game, they generally fast track some of your updates. So we don't know if ARK is part of that, but given the success of ARK on consoles, you would imagine they must be. And generally that means they get pushed to the top of the queue, or they get passed through Cert a little bit quicker. The flip side of that though is, maybe with ARK's history of basically failing Cert because they've just messed stuff up so many times, they might actually still be in the slow path. Add to that Microsoft especially give a warning to developers they won't release games generally on the week of Christmas. They go to a skeleton bones crew literally across most of their departments and let people enjoy their holidays. I've learned this via talking to a bunch of devs that I've become friends with over the years, and so the certification team on Microsoft is very light. So basically a lot of stuff ends up going in a queue. Updates and hotfixes can still happen, but you're not necessarily going to get any kind of priority. And I'm pretty sure Sony are very similar. This isn't a blame game, it's never the problem of Microsoft and Sony. Developers like ARK, like Wildcard know what to do and what to expect getting their games through Cert. So if there's any problem or issue, it's not down to one platform being slower than the other, it's down to Wildcard not doing their job properly. That's why it's such a bad idea to release any kind of content close to a major holiday where the staff will be off. Palworld's doing something similar. Their DLC goes live on the 23rd, and if there's any problems with Xbox and PlayStation, you ain't going to get that fixed for at least a week. So, hopefully I've opened some more excuses for fanboys to go, yeah, see? It's not ARK's fault, is it? Problem is though, they've done this for 9 years. 9 years of failed ETAs and problems and issues. Scorched Earth, I think most recent one, was probably the only one they managed to get out just on time. They've had plenty of feedback from people saying we don't want these kind of updates. We don't want updates late in the West Coast USA, because that means East Coast people don't get a chance to download it either. And of course Europe and the rest of the world also has problems with generally that time zone. The perfect time zone usually is in the morning on West Coast, giving the East Coast people a chance and Europeans a chance to go ahead and download. They're the 3 major actual sources of players for ARK. Sorry Australians, I love you. But even that would actually still be good, because it'd still be relatively evening or night time for you if it was like 9 AM on the West Coast. And it's just so simple. Just wait until your fucking game is ready to go out and has passed its cert before you decide to then release it. There are other games that are live services that absolutely make sure they pass cert before going ahead and releasing it. They don't just rely on hopefully it passing. And after 9 years, Wildcard simply don't care. It's not a question of them doing better. They just absolutely don't give a shit about problems like this. In the past, they would go ahead and release it on Steam, and Xbox and PlayStation players would have to just wait days, maybe even a week or so sometimes, for it to go pass through cert again if it crashed or something went wrong. But of course now we're in a cross-play situation, at least Steam has to generally wait for Xbox and PlayStation to also go through. So that's one good thing, the level playing field. Getting them base spots is super important, so at least they are delivering the different waves of servers. And other than that, everyone else, even though I'm complaining, I guess we could all just shut up because ARK's not going anywhere. If you play single player, it doesn't really matter if you wait it up. That was your choice. But certainly, definitely for official players, I feel their pain where they want to actually go and get a spot, or unofficial that play on like really intense ones like PvP. And for content creators, it does mess up our schedules, and hardcore players will book time off to go and play these games. It's a lack of respect from Wildcard towards their fan base. They just don't simply care. They can do things better, other companies do it better, they could learn, they could change, but they just don't want to because it's the easiest route for them. Last thing I will mention is Cert is not bugs and issues. It's not working out if the Managma has got some OP thing on it. It's not working out if bases are going to get destroyed by orbital drops. Cert is literally the really obtuse crap. Like on terms and conditions, does it pop up when you enter the game for the first time? Will the mods menu load up since you've put it on its actual store page saying the game has mods? When you press the pause button, does it actually work and the pause button? The very basics of the game. Visual glitches, bugs, rollbacks, stuff like that, that doesn't actually get tested by Microsoft or PlayStation. That's of course on Wildcard. If you forget to adequately make sure on the store page it says 1 to 70 players or whatever it could be, that's another reason why it could potentially fail. It goes through these steps basically, and each stage, anything that can get corrected sometimes can go back, and it can be done relatively quick. You upload another build and then they'll pass it off. So for there to be delays like this, where there's some sort of issue going through over like 12 hours, it's either because of what I mentioned, a bit of a backlog of games trying to get games through Cert, or Wildcard are simply failing, which they've done a bunch of times in the past for console, because they haven't just checked their shit. Whoever their product manager is, that's the generally title of who organises this stuff. Really, you need to get good. There we go. That's hopefully a little bit of lessons about Cert and what the process goes through, and why Wildcard should not offer any excuses, because ultimately they've had plenty of time to get good. That aside, yeah, absolutely, Extinction trailer does look pretty banging. As I said, I am focused more on the rigs and the way that you're able to go ahead and choose the different parts, really customize and make them your own. That looks really unique. I've never actually been into a lot of the creatures and dinosaurs in ARK. I've always just enjoyed the exploration, building and survival elements, rather than making it a Pokemon catcher game. But for sure, the new dinosaurs do look good. The new puke spewing massive theropod or whatever it is absolutely looks badass. And I can't wait to see the tears of more PvPers once they realise that nothing's been changed with the Managma and it's still going to be massively OP. What is interesting is, why don't Wildcard actually release something like the patch notes right now? They must have them drawn up or getting that close to getting them done. Stuff like that would keep players a bit ongoing while they're waiting. Let people know what's been changed. We've seen the trailer now at least, so give us an explanation of what else is being added. Also, going back into my vault of ARK content, people ask me why I don't cover the game as much. The fact is, I did cover it so much. Over 30 million views I've generated for ARK over the years. And one of the videos that I did way back when was when they had the actual buggy in the game. So I just tested this to see if I could spawn it on ASA. And of course, no, it doesn't work currently. What's interesting is, and pointed out to me by Nerdscape, one of my ratbags, was the tyres actually stopped moving for the tech version. This was the June buggy that basically got replaced by the tech buggy. But this was something you could spawn in and mess around with. I swear it was a reward for defeating one of the bosses at one point. This video is over 7 years old though, so yeah, obviously things have changed. But I'm curious if absolutely the buggies are going to handle like this. I hope not, because it was absolute arse. And if anyone remembers the horrible sound it made, make sure you comment down below. And going down the nostalgia lane, people asking why I'm returning to ARK. It is like that. ARK does hold so much nostalgia. And whenever there's one of these brand new ASA releases, it reminds me of all the stuff I used to do for ARK. Before old Ras Clark, my good pal, came along, I held my own as being one of the #1 sources for news, guides and pure info. I'm not saying I was the best, but certainly if you wanted to hear about updates and get lots of guides on the game, I'm going to say it, I did pretty well. But yeah, it's crazy going back over some of the content I covered. It's slightly getting me more in the mood for Extinction, even if it is probably one of my most hated maps. So I'm hoping these rigs will give a bit of life to me and ARK, and maybe I'll enjoy the rest of the map and get back into ARK in a big way. So leave a like if you found this video useful. I cover ARK with big fat critical opinions, but I will be showing some guides once we get there, and I'll see you RATBAGGERS later.